Hey, Taliz. So I promised you that I'd write you a video. So this is for you. This video is initiated to it's essentially my thoughts after the meeting. And to be honest, I feel like the meeting was okay, but it didn't like go to the way I planned. And even Mr. Lepore, and Mr. Lepore is the man who was sitting there, who follows me around everywhere. He and I requested the meeting, and we requested it in a different way. You see, we asked for someone experienced with autistic students like me, someone who would help heal the divide rather than say, oh, hey, this party's at fault or this party's at fault. You know, what happened, I think, was the exact opposite. So I'm just so Mr. Lepore said that some of that stuff that was said was bullshit, and you essentially confirmed that because you were extremely honest during your during for what you said, because one of the things that they said was that you left me out because uh, you left me out from the homecoming your homecoming group, because you wanted to protect me. And Mr. Lepore was like, "That's bullshit," and it is bullshit, to be honest. And you even confirmed that, and I thank you for that. Thank you for being honest. You said that it was actually because um, people were scared, and you didn't want to be held responsible for that, essentially. And I can see how if I was in your position, I might do something like that. But this video is actually just reflecting on the past a little bit to see what we can do different in the future. So to be quite frank and honest, I do not feel like I'm your friend. No. And I do not feel like that I mean anything to you, to be honest. That my life means anything to you, that my feelings mean anything to you, that my very presence means anything to you. Let me explain that. One of the things that you had said was that, and you promised this. You claim that you didn't promise this, but you actually did in Skype and Facebook numerous times, that you and I would go hang and stuff, and do things best friends do, um, or well, close friends do. But to be honest, I'm shocked because none of that really happened. It happened once, but you can't just say, "Oh, hey, it happened one time and that's it, done." It's not like that. I think that the fact that you haven't really kept your word on that, it's mind blowing. And what shocks me the most is that you, someone who was elected uh, most friendliest, can't even deal with a friend who you've known since, like, I don't know, since 10 years ago. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm just saying that to be real. Uh, and I think the problem is you choose not to deal with me rather than yeah. One of the things I hated about the meeting is just that nobody, and I mean nobody, mentioned the fact that I have autism. And I want to mention that autism is not an excuse for your actions. It definitely isn't. But it does provide a more realistic look into what are the obstacles that I face. Of course, the school system. So just to make sure you remember, me and Mr. Lepore, who watches me every day and realizes that I face a lot of struggles, um, requested this meeting in a totally different format. We requested for someone who was familiar with autism. Instead, the school district took someone else totally different, and totally screwed up the entire meeting. But I'm not saying the meeting went bad, but I'm not saying it went good either. I don't think that it went to the full potential that I wanted it to go, or that we wanted it to go, me and Mr. Lepore. Um, and Mr. Lepore was totally quiet during that entire thing. That's the thing. He said he couldn't even speak because they had to throw that little doll thing around, and he wanted to mention about my autism and about different things. So it's amazing to me, Taliz, how you can't even understand your friend. You know, it's as if they like it's like you haven't known me for the last 10 years. I've just been there. I'm just like air to you. My feelings, my thoughts, the obstacles that I've faced, none of that matters to you. The only thing that matters to you are your other friends, Jean, Jessica, Michael, Morgan, Abhishek, and I could name numerous people, some of whom actually went with me to GT Academy, and none of whom are really my friends anymore, I hate to say, because they just simply choose to treat me like that. But I would expect you, out of all people, to like treat me differently, because I thought you knew me better to a certain extent. Now, I know you said that the Debarshi that you knew long ago wasn't the same as the Debarshi now. You got to remember, Debarshi went through a lot of circumstances, and again, this is not an excuse for everything I've done, but it provides a more it provides a way for you to see things through my spectacles. Essentially, it's like you can see things in my point of view. I think you don't do that very well, Taliz. I hate to say, I I know it seems like I'm getting really accusatory to you, and I'm sorry, but I just wanted to be I wanted to be the person who opened your eyes, because I feel like you've had your eyes closed on me for a long time. So, going back to the homecoming incident, I think that both parties are at fault. And here's why, let me explain. My end, I think, was the fact that I reacted the way I did. I shouldn't have reacted that way. And you were mentioning that one time you said hi, and I did hear you say that. I was kind of semi-shocked, like partially I was shocked that you actually said hi after all of that mess. So I just kind of like gave a quiet hi, and I was uncomfortable too. But at the same time, there's this other part, and this is on me again. But another part of me thought, no, I'm just not going to talk to him because I wanted to give you a taste of what it feels like to be ignored every single freaking day by literally everyone that you love, everyone, you know, and it becomes ridiculous, annoying, and to be honest, people blame me for it, but in reality, people are responsible to and for their own actions. I'm responsible for whatever I do. When I yelled out loud, "Hey, I'd like to profess my intense but platonic love for you," well, that was my fault. That's not yours, that's my fault. But your reaction to that was still your fault. You see, we are responsible. We choose the way we act. We don't have it chosen for us. I did not tell you to go treat me that way. I did not force you to treat me that way. There are so many people who could have treated me in probably 10 times better than that. I tell so many people I love you, but you know something? My true friends, they tell me I love you back, or well, they don't hold that against me. And that's the thing I don't get, you know, Taliz. I always thought you were my true friend, but lately I've been thinking, how are you my true friend? Because true friends, you see, Taliz, they understand each other. They accept each other for who they are. Now, that doesn't mean that true friends get to do whatever the hell they want. It just means that true friends work with each other to, you know, get somewhere. So I'm going to try working with you right now. I believe that what you did wrong and what Jessica did wrong in this incident was the fact that you guys just handled it poorly, like really poorly. For you, in your case, I think that I don't know what incident you guys were talking about. I guessed it had something to do with Kathy, but homecoming was early September. Kathy's the issue between me and Kathy that started later in like October, so I still don't know what that incident was about. However, there are some things that I think you should consider. Number one, is everything that the public says true? I guarantee you there's stuff that's aggrandized, that's exaggerated, or something, you know? Number two, if some of the stuff that the public says is true, isn't it right to actually tell me about the incident and like what happened and explain to me maybe where I went wrong or something and what your concern is first? Number three, you should really think if things could have been done differently. And number four, if you're really my friend, is what other people think of me supposed to matter? Like, really? Because I don't think so. I think that friends, if other people think that I'm crap, I expect you to think that I'm Debarchi and that I'm a good person, that I have good values instilled in me, and that I don't expect you to think of me like crap and or well just go along with it. Because Taliz, you were elected as a leader, but like the leader of the group, but what ended up happening, Taliz, from the way I look at it, was that you ended up becoming a follower. And I just don't think that's right. You're smarter than that. I know that for sure. You're better than that. And I am and I was very disappointed in you, you know? I was shocked, disappointed, and that's part of the reason I did not talk to you for a long time. Okay, now Jessica, I don't want to get into a serious fight with her, but just to let you know, some of the ways that she actually handled the incident was extremely poor, and it was extremely hurting too. And this is just something I want to show you. And I'm not pulling this up on Jessica because I want to fight with her. I care about Jessica, even though I don't really know her as well as I know you. And I really want the best for her. I want to be friends with her. But I think this is something that she should look at. Because so the first thing I want you to know is that I released these chats on Facebook, and I think that was the reason you blocked me from Facebook, I'm guessing. But I want you to think about this and understand why I released these chats. I changed the names, not so much, but just a little, so that you guys could understand I was talking about you guys. And I really wanted Jessica to reflect on her words and kind of see like where she went wrong. Unfortunately, that didn't really happen. So I'm just gonna, for the sake of that this stuff hopefully doesn't happen anymore, I'm just gonna go over some of the stuff she said one last time, hopefully. And I really want want to change, you know. Uh, so, you know, essentially what she said was, and I need to talk to you, and it's concerning our homecoming group. You told me before that I could just come and tell you if something is bothering me, and well, I'm here to tell you that you've caused a lot of trouble, a lot of problems in our Hoko group, and it's not okay. If you don't want to hear any more of it, then that's okay. But if you can handle it and actually try to understand and accept it, I will talk to you about it. But if you freak out and start being irrational, I will ignore you. But as of now, you're not part of our homecoming group anymore. Sorry. Okay, so this is by far the rudest thing I've ever read. And I've never characterized Jessica as a rude person. This was an immense shock to me. Um, and also very accusatory. You've caused a lot of problems in our Hoko group. When I read that, I just flipped out. Because how did I cause trouble in your Hoko group? The truth of the matter is, Taliz, she said I caused trouble. But people chose to feel a certain way about me. That's the thing. I didn't make them feel that way. People choose the way they react to things, you know? And unfortunately, for a lot of these people, it just wasn't a good choice. But that's not on me. That's on them. They're not understanding. They're not accepting. It's so that's the first problem with this. You've caused a lot of problems in our Hoko group. That's not okay to say, because I didn't even, let's get this straight, you invited me. Or well, you invited me through Troy. I didn't do anything to your Hoko group. I didn't even have any contact with your Hoko group. So I was like, what's up? Just wanted to let you know that you're probably not going to be in our group anymore. Oh, please, you like in the last paragraph, he was saying that if I wanted to hear some of it, she would try and talk about it. But no matter how hard I tried to ask why, nobody. Like she never really told me. You did kind of tell me, but uh, this is solely for the purpose of making sure that we have better future relations. Let's not do that ever again, okay? Let's just make it a goal. You and I will not talk to each other that disrespectfully. That is extremely disrespectful, and I was ticked off about it for a long time. So let's try working on some things, and I really want I really want us to improve. So let's start with something. The first thing I'd like you to do is reflect on both of our past actions. I'll reflect on mine, you reflect on yours, and we could, and I would like it if you thought about different ways that you could have you could have handled the homecoming situation. And yes, you could have handled it better. Like, I would have been much more reciprocative if you and Jessica essentially said, okay, Debarchi, you can go to our our homecoming group, but we have to lay down some rules. 1, 2, 3. You know, I would have been much more reciprocative to that. And if you had just come and told me, like, exactly what the problem is, instead of like being so well, I should say Jessica was accusatory in that stance, I would have been willing to work with you on that. But the thing is, you literally took out the possibility of compromise. It became an extremely negative environment. So in the future, if you have any problems, you can come and tell me. I'm your friend, and I'm willing to listen to you. But don't do it in an accusatory way. And I will do my very best, my level best, not to be accusatory to you either. Try to compromise with me, and be more accepting. Yes. And then one other thing, keep your promises. Simple. I mean, you did promise to hang with me, so in the future, I do. I hope it's not wrong when I say this. I expect you to hang with me. It's not much. It shouldn't be much for you to hang with Debarshi. If it tarnishes your reputation, well, maybe you're too caring about your reputation to like. Maybe you care more about your reputation than you do your friend, and that's not okay. You know. Um. Anyways, yeah. So I'd like to work this out with you. If there are any things you have that you want to talk about, feel free to email me or unblock me from Facebook and talk to me about it. But one last thing. I think I said this before, but I'm going to say this again. When Jessica does things like that, I think it's my every right to talk to someone about it. It's not okay to treat your friends like that, Taliz. It's just not. And you know, you guys, when you guys exclude me, you talk against each other, talk with each other to you know, about excluding me and stuff. You know, you talked with Jessica. You had a chance to do that. You had a chance to talk with the group. Essentially, with what Jessica was saying, I shouldn't have to talk to anyone about me being excluded. I can't talk to Kathy. I can't talk to different people about it. And that's just not that's ridiculous. It's not okay. Taliz, it's it's bullshit, and you know that. That's why I released those chats because I really wanted help. I really wanted someone to understand the way you guys were treating me, and I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't a huge success, but I got like 7 people who actually said, yeah, this is kind of wrong. And even Michael went on later and said, um, yeah, the way you treated me was dumb and it was crap, Taliz, because that's what it is. You can choose to accept that now, and we can move on and like work on ourselves and try to better our relationship, or we can just remain nowhere, and you know this animosity thing between you and me can continue. You choose. Anyways, thank you. Goodbye.